Next up is John. Now that we've cut into John's precious time.
Hey, John.
Hey, John, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So who are you? Tell us about yourself.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Seriously, is that the first question? Okay.
Well, I figure why
Some people
not?
may not know you.
My grandma, again, who is watching, does not know who you are.
She's not going to know who you are.
What camera? Where am I?
There you go.
I think you're that one. Yeah. Hi, Grandma. Sorry.
So, let's see. Who am I? What a profound. I need to think about that.
I think we've hit the most profound question for the day.
This is you crashed me.
Yeah.
No, this is this conference is what I love to do. I have as much. I don't even call it stress. It's been 8 months of planning, a week of terror. Have I remembered everything? And then it's I blogged about this recently. It's like you hit the sound barrier, and it's smooth. It's like Saturday when the packages arrived and everything. It's like good. All the tester paranoia in me, like, okay, what about this? What this could happen? Risk this, risk that, risk. It just stops and it's smooth and everything is covered and you go, this can't be right. This can't be right.
There's something wrong.
And then when you can't think of anything else, right? That's one of the criteria of done is you can't think of anything else that's reasonable, and you have other people. You go, okay, check me on this, and they go, did you think of this? And you go, yep. And then you, in Myers-Briggs speak, I guess I'm an ESFJ, extroverted, sensory, feeling, judgmental, the J. The
judgmental. That's part of the test.
It's a service ethic, I guess. And so not only is it fun for me to see things running reasonably smoothly, but it's the marriage of intellectual fuel and like physical fuel, like food and drinks, and people just. I called it a party this morning, but it's if I won the lottery, I would do one of these a month. It is so much fun to get people comfortable and just let's not worry about food or money. Let's just jam. And so that's me. That's my that's how I approach this kind of a task, and even in my test management.
So some people watching the webcast tonight are not going to know what cast is, or at least have not been here. And one of the things that we say over and over and over is you have to experience cast to be part of it, which is why we're doing some of this. So if you were to describe cast to someone, how would you do that? I mean, what would you say to them?
Cast is a big peer conference where you have people actually conferring and getting together and trading ideas in a collegial, cordial way. Even though debate is part of it, the Association for Software Testing, to me, is a group of dedicated professionals, I guess. I mean, as most associations, I suppose, but who are serious about thinking above and beyond the normal hours of a conference. You go to other conferences and people are like in bed by 7, or they're off drinking or eating, and they're I don't want to talk about testing. I did that all today, or they're off seeing sites or whatever. Whereas I think the tendency of people at CAST is to stick around and like this and jam and like musicians and say, did you catch James's talk today or your talk, Ben, and this military analogy. I'm just wrapped by this military analogy. I could use that, and I like that. I like that intellectual energy. But I'm an extrovert, so I get fueled by people, whereas I know introverts need solitude to refuel. So CAST for me is it fuels me because of the interaction. The facilitation, for example, is unique, and being able to hold up a card and be on a stack and then change your mind and say, okay, new thread instead of same thread, or red card. I get to I don't have to wait till raise my hand. If I have a burning issue, I can do it now. And there's a story about the red cards that I don't know if many people know, but has anybody
Besides
mentioned that in the
record?
podcast?
Yeah,
The next guy up will.
Okay, all right. So
we don't
anyway,
want to steal Paul's thunder.
I don't want to
He's
steal
sitting
Paul's
behind
thunder.
us here.
Okay, so there's a hi Paul. So there's a time though. We have these cards, and a red card is a burning issue card. Without stealing the thunder, but I had a peer conference, and I can't forget. can't remember which one it was, but I was telling a story about something, and someone put up a red card and said, "Not quite." And I'm like, not quite. I was on that project, and I was like, no, wait, 1965, you were at Northrop Grumman, and it was like he had to speak now. He added value to what the story I had heard was. So that's the purpose of a red card is I need to speak now because I have something valuable that would inform the whole group. So I like that kind of thing.
So tell me, John, you spent a lot of time putting this whole thing together. I mean, what's it like?
What I learned, I did this in 2007 at Cast 2 in Seattle, actually, and it's very similar. But what I learned this year was the less people involved, the easier it was, which I thought was interesting. There were really 4 of us that put on this show.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Sure, the AST board has a bunch of people, and they would approve what we were doing and stuff. But it's really me, James, Ben, and Paul. And I don't think we had a single conference call. And in 2007, we had conference calls once a month.
I think we had a Skype call at the beginning, and that was about it.
It was all email. It was all cordial. Yep. It was all collegial. It was all we had each other's backs when we made mistakes or assumptions. And it helped not to have a call for papers. Actually, that made it a lot easier, a lot less.
It did
stress.
make it a lot quicker. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was, James took some heat for that, and so as he said in his remarks this morning, we adapted we learned from that, and we made this emerging topics track, so this the planning. Well, as I alluded to, it's 8 months of all the details, and then a week where it funnels down to this. There's no more time to delay. You have to make a decision, and you have to make a call on this. So it's not unlike a testing project where you have tests that you run, and you say, I ran that test 3 months ago. Well, we should probably maybe do it again to see if it's still... and then you ship this thing called a conference. And like tomorrow, part of my opening remarks will be the bugs that we found today. Like
right from the tester competition.
Well, not only that. Sure.
Conference
but
bugs.
The conference bugs,
conference
exactly.
Bugs.
So for example, there was no soda at lunch, right? And that was a big issue. It was actually mostly all food related. Funny that is. There's no protein at the breakfast,
no
right?
Protein.
Didn't think about that. I thought about vegetarians and vegans, but it's these little details, though, when you, just like shipping software, that you go, right, the user who is left-handed did not think about that, right? So that's the kind of things that you work when that only materialize when that happens, right? When you ship something. So
excellent. Any takeaways throughout the day? You mentioned emerging topics. Anything strike your fancy?
I think the emerging topics was a fantastic idea. That was our remedy for a closed call for papers. This room, I'm sitting in this chair in this room where the emerging topic, it was packed all day, and I was really surprised by
actually how many people had attended. Because when I came in to give my talk, I expected 7 or 10 people, and it was packed. People were sitting on the floor. They were all over the place. It got quite warm in here, actually. Yeah.
I don't know what that says about the rest of the speakers and the program choices, but to know that I imagine 3 to 5 people being in here, and to see it consistently 30 people.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's good data for next year.
Yeah,
we need a bigger room.
We're really gonna have to expand on that.
Yeah.
It was a great session.
Yeah.
So excellent. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
It was easy.
Thanks for joining us.
Sure, you're welcome.
And we'll of course see you tomorrow in your opening welcome, and hopefully we'll have the results from the tester competition.
Yes, we'll have the results from the tester competition, and you'll have bug fixes. Like there will be protein tomorrow at breakfast.
Yay,
there will be
protein.
Air conditioning is fixed, and that's why I tweeted. Anyway, it'll be fun to see.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot, John.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.